Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, is she a damaged tease, or did I over pursue? So this is an interesting email. This particular guy, this goes back like 5 years ago. He met this woman. He was at a bar, and they ended up hooking up, I guess the second time after they met, or the second time they saw each other. So in essence, the first date they hooked up. But then when he tried to set the second date, even though she claims the sex was really amazing, she wouldn't set a second date. And eventually he got tired of her jerking him around because he kept trying to make dates and she kept not agreeing to him. He met somebody else and got serious with her. And so he just broke up with his girlfriend of 5 years about 3 months ago. And then he happened to be on LinkedIn and came across the original girl's profile. Reached out and she tells him how she'd been thinking about him all this time. And so they talked a bunch. And then she said, I can't get together. I'm not ready. We had sex too soon. And yet he still hasn't gotten together with her. He's thinking, did I pursue too hard, too much? Or is she just a tease? Or obviously, is she a damaged tease, as he puts it? So despite all the answers to that, I got a quote that helps bring clarity to these situations. Because it all boils down to, what do people actually do? And so the quote says, the only thing that really matters in all relationships is what people actually do. Talk is cheap. It means nothing without the actions to back it up. If people tell you that they care and their actions do not match their words, you should assume that they don't really care about you and move on. You must see reality as it is, not as you want it to be. The right people who really care about you will actually show through their actions that they really want, value, and appreciate you. Most people who you meet in life won't be a match. Don't take it personally. Just recognize that they aren't meant for you and wish them well. So with that in mind, that little nugget of knowledge, kind of like the things I talk about in my new book, Quotes, Ruminations, and Contemplations, which is available everywhere in all formats, and you can read it for free at understandingrelationships.com. Just subscribe to the email newsletter. So let's go through his email. He says, hi, Corey. Here's the backstory. 5 years ago, when I was 26, I met this girl. She was also 26 in a bar, and I got her number, and we ended up having sex the second time we met, which obviously would be on his first date. It was incredibly intense, and mentally, we connected, or so he thought. After we had sex, I tried to get a second date with her, and she was willing to talk, but she was hesitant to meet. She told me at that time she just got out of a relationship, and she was starting to have feelings for me, but was afraid to get close to someone. So that sounds reasonable, but if you bottom line her actions, she still won't get together. And you always look at what people do, not what they say. I mean, you can take it at face value and assume that's what it is, but it doesn't really matter, because you want somebody who's like, oh, hell yeah, I'd love to see you. That'd be great. That'd be wonderful. If they're not excited to spend time with you, then they can go on down the road. Because when you try to keep somebody who doesn't want to keep you, it's demeaning to yourself. If they're not making a mutual effort, oh, bye-bye now. So I kind of gave up on pursuing her and met another girl who I dated for 5 years up until about 3 months ago. 3 weeks ago, I found this same girl on LinkedIn. Now we are both 31. I messaged her and she wanted to talk to me and gave me her phone number. I called her that night and we talked and instantly reconnected. She told me that since we last spoke, over the years she thought about me often, wishing that she had pulled the trigger with me back then and couldn't stop talking about the sex we had. I guess the sex was really good. Apparently, but it was talk. If the sex was really that great, is she going to resist getting together to have great sex again? Maybe she's a Fruit Loop. We just have to look at the actions. The last time we spoke in 2016, I ripped her apart for treating me like garbage and how the girl I chose was way better than she was. So obviously there was some more communicating. It's not like they just stopped talking. Probably went on for some time where he was trying to get her together. They were only talking on the phone. He's thinking, I'll be patient with her. And then, bottom line is they never got together. And especially after he ripped her a new one, they didn't talk. So there's obviously some things he's leaving out there. But it really doesn't matter. She wouldn't get together with him. She told me that she thought that I had cursed. She also said she hadn't been in a relationship since we last met, and she hasn't had sex in almost 2 years now. So, 5 years, not having a relationship. Granted, this is a very attractive girl, so I was pretty surprised by that. I figured this was it. I had a chance now to go after the girl that I wanted to date prior to my ex, and I didn't want this to slip away. I asked if she wanted to get dinner and meet in person, and she told me that she's not comfortable at this point meeting in person because she wanted to have sex with me, and she wanted to make sure the next person she had sex with was someone serious. So she's waited 5 years, as far as you know. But the reality is, what does it really matter? How much or how little she's had sex in the last 5 years? Bottom line is, she doesn't want to get together with you. You don't pursue and invest energy and effort in somebody that just won't get together with you. She wanted to get to know me, and we FaceTimed. When I asked, when do you want to see each other in person, she stated, I want to give it a couple of months. Oh yeah, let's FaceTime for a couple of months? Yeah, I don't think so. I was confused because I questioned to myself, why did she want me to contact her again if she just had no intention of wanting to see me? When I brought it up, she told me she was a runner and she did not want to feel pressured because she runs away from guys when they get too close. Well, you had one date and you had sex once. Supposedly really great sex. So that kind of a statement there, she's basically saying, hey, I'm a Fruit Loop. I run away. I avoid relationships. If you're trying to have a relationship and you meet somebody who runs away and basically says they can't handle relationships, you shouldn't be trying to date them. For whatever reason, their goals are not aligned. I agreed it was probably best that we got to know each other this time, since the first time we barely knew each other and we had sex so quickly that I figured, what the heck, I can wait 2 months. Yeah, you're ignoring the red flags that she just basically admitted she's a Fruit Loop. But guys are thinking, I'm going to save her. I'm going to fix her. I'm going to solve her problems. I'm going to make her see how great a guy I am. And then it'll change her. So we start communicating and texting pretty intensely for the next week, restoring that attraction and connection, or so he thought. About a week later, we were on the phone, and I brought up that I liked her. I think she already knew that, dude. You reached out after 5 years. Of course she knows you like her. And she said she did too. Hey, that sounds great that she likes you too, but is she willing to get together? But again, she was just hesitant to want to see each other immediately. Hey, well, give me a call if you change your mind. She was honest to say, I just don't think I can give you what you want when it comes to being ready to see you. So already she's gotten the idea or the impression that he wants a relationship with her. She said it was purely about her lack of self-control, and maybe she's a nymphomaniac. And now she waited so long since she's had sex, she didn't want to throw it away. Personally, it sounded like she was acting if she was a born-again virgin. Who knows? But the bottom line is she's not willing to get back together with you again to lose her born-again virginity. So I kind of just waved it off since everything was going so smooth. Yeah, but this is like a digital pen pal. This is not a real thing. She told me that she would message me tomorrow, and so I decided I'm not going to chase this woman, and I'll wait for her to reach out to me this time. Well, after that call, it's been over a week, and I haven't heard from her since. Okay. So if we just take a step back, bottom line the actions, I'll call you tomorrow. She didn't do that. He hasn't heard from her, so you have to assume, based on her actions, that she doesn't care. I haven't reached out to her because I knew that she teased me once before, and I was already guarded by her behavior and self-proclaimed, quote, daddy issues. Or self-proclaimed, quote, daddy issues. I assume that she runs out on men before they run on her, and her biological dad left. So obviously she's got daddy issues. Trust in men. She just basically told you she's not capable. She's messed up. She's a Fruit Loop. She said she hasn't seen her dad in years, and that has made her feel unwanted. So she feels unwanted, so guess what she does to you? She makes you feel unwanted. As for me, I know my value, and I'm standing my ground. Anyway, I'm not sure how to proceed with this, or if it's even worth trying with someone so broken emotionally. Yeah, dude. Captain Save-A-Ho, trying to fix this girl or save her or rescue her from her daddy issues, that's not your job. I guess it's just hard for me to reconcile why did she want me to reach out to her? Because she liked the attention and validation, obviously. The girl hasn't had a relationship in 5 years. Doesn't sound like she's dated much. She hasn't had sex in 2 years. And want to get to know me, to truly want something real with me. Well, if you look at her actions, she didn't want anything real with you, and she really didn't care about getting to know you because she blew you off. And if a chick blows you off, that means she doesn't care. She doesn't give a shit. She doesn't value, doesn't appreciate you. You might as well be pond scum to her. Then when I showed the slightest desire to want to see her in person and just truly get to know her, she essentially ghosted me. Well, because she didn't care. All of her words didn't mean anything. Because her actions and her words didn't match. When you want to see someone you want to get to know and potentially have a relationship with, well, if you look at her actions, she didn't want to get to know you, and she didn't want to have a relationship with you either. Is she damaged goods? Well, it kind of sounds like it. That's what she's telling you. And is there no fixing someone like this? That's not your job. That's her therapist's job, and that's her job. She has to participate in her own rescue. She has to fix herself. As the late, great Jim Rohn said, I'll take care of me for you, and you take care of you for me. She did mention to me that she's going to therapy and trying to work on not running away and trusting men, and then boom, she goes silent less than 2 weeks after reigniting the conversation she wanted me to start. Well, dude, in all fairness, it sounds like you were doing all the initiating and pursuing. She liked the attention, but the bottom line, she didn't appreciate it, she didn't value it because she blew you off. Again, if somebody ghosts you, they don't fucking care about you, and they don't want anything to do with you. So you should respond accordingly. Should I even reach out to this girl again? Absolutely not, dude. Or should I just give up that this girl is a complete lost cause? Yep, she's a complete lost cause as far as you're concerned. And is more trouble than she's worth. Yes. Can you imagine trying to date a woman like this? Constant hot and cold, constantly bouncing back and forth. She's in therapy. She admitted she's fucked up. And you're thinking, I can fix it. This is something I can work with. I can help her. Not your job. You're looking for a teammate, a happy, whole, complete person who loves, values, appreciates, and most importantly, respects you. And she's not going to respect you if you keep coming back for a second and third helping. She said she's going to get in touch. She never did. So therefore, she don't care. You mean nothing to her. I guess my logic is if I don't reach out to her again, doesn't that reinforce her belief that I only wanted to reignite things so I could get her to have sex with me again? And not getting my way just showed she wasn't worth pursuing on her timeline? Well, the reality is the thing that because again, you're trying to blame yourself for everything that she's doing. You're taking ownership of her actions. She told you, I will call you tomorrow. She didn't call you tomorrow. What does that mean? She don't give a fuck about you. Doesn't matter why she didn't call or whatever. She didn't do what she said she was going to do. You can't have a relationship with somebody who doesn't honor their words. Someone tells you one thing and they do another, well, look at their actions. So it doesn't matter what came out of her mouth. She didn't mean any of it. So fuck her. She can go on down the road. She's somebody else's. She's her shrink's problem. Let her shrink deal with her. Then again, because she seems to be so jaded, if I reach out to her, will that be even more of a turnoff? Yeah, because you're not congruent with your words. You were going to wait for her to reach out. She never did. So you should assume she has no interest in you. Whatever the reason, doesn't matter. She's fucked up. She doesn't like you. She has another guy. She's going to therapy. Doesn't matter. If you bottom line the actions, she's not interested. Or is she off that eventually she would just reach out to me again? It's possible, but quite frankly, if she reaches out to you again and you try to get involved with this girl, maybe you should go see a therapist, because that's ridiculous. You're not going to have a healthy relationship with somebody that behaves this way. It's just not going to work. If you look through all of my thousands of video newsletters, and it never works out with women like this. It's sad. It's sad. We can be sad for her. We can feel sorry for her, but whatever happened in her family, the parents are responsible. They fucked her up. It just sucks because we clicked mentally and sexually, but again, that was 5 years ago, dude. Time to get over it. Time to move on. But again, there always going to be some massive red flag from the woman's side. That's true. So if I were you, I would delete her number. I would block her number. I wouldn't have anything to do with a woman like this. But it's your life. It's your choice. If you look at her actions, she's not into you. Doesn't matter. Don't take it personally. Just say, hey, well, I checked that box. Check that box off my list. Now I know. I made the effort. And at least 5 years from now, you're not going to be wondering, oh, what did I do? You gave it your best shot. Dating is tennis. She didn't want to play tennis with you because she didn't hit the ball back. So go find a new tennis partner. Don't take it personally. Just means you're not compatible. As much as you think you're compatible, hey, you had a one-night stand, you hooked up, she was hot. Hey, it's a victory. Either way. Walk away. So if you've got a question or challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.